Me han dado 5 minutos para cambiar el mundo. I've been given 5 minutes to change the world. No pressure. Thankfully, I've been trying to generate change in my community and around the world since I was still in school. When I was 17, I was entrusted to help lead a national beach cleanup in my home country, Peru. 122 simultaneous cleanups, 2,500 volunteers, and 20 tons of debris collected. These cleanups, repeated yearly, allowed young people to generate data on plastic pollution. This later led to a law establishing a step-by-step ban of single-use plastics in Peru. This, for me, was the impact of someone trusting me, doing something, and raising awareness beyond classrooms and textbooks. Because environmental impacts were not waiting until I finished school. When I was 18, I co-founded an organization to help reduce poverty in Latin America. In 2017, we implemented an after-school program in Nicaragua. In 2019, we raised funds to build a school in Haiti, where increased hurricanes and other weather events have left students without classrooms or even trees to shelter under. And you will see in the next picture, the students were studying in a tent before we arrived. In 2021, just last year, we renovated a library and gave sustainable development lessons for kids in Guatemala. In case you've not guessed it yet, I'm passionate about doing everything I can to help solve the climate and education crisis, because we won't get there by just talking. But what do these two topics have in common? In my home country, Peru, we're already seeing the impacts of the climate crisis on education. There are an increasing number of floods that destroy homes and schools. 2 years after a major flood in the northern region of Piura, 293 schools had not yet been rebuilt. Less apparent were all the young people who are no longer going to school due to reduced crops in the Andes. Their parents can no longer afford to send them to school. Instead, the kids are staying home to help feed their families. In Sierra Leone, the 5th poorest country in the world and where I now live, those who are being most impacted by the climate crisis are also struggling to find a good education. Many of them are being displaced by extreme weather events, and they're more likely to drop out of school. Unfortunately, as I look around the room, those who are being most impacted by these crises are not being included in the conversations that could help determine their future on Earth. The high-level conversations and discussions about these issues that have disrupted their lives are being held behind closed doors. Thankfully, through Restless Development, I've had the privilege of mentoring young people all over the world who are trying to tackle these issues. And I believe that if we do it together, we still have time. There is hope. I see it in their faces. We're seeing solutions everywhere. For example, Street to School implemented a sustainable mobile school in Nigeria, taking solar paneled lessons to the most vulnerable communities. Governments are also taking action. In Peru, during the pandemic, the government used interviews of environmental activists or videos of beach cleanups to complement the online curriculum for kids. But what I most loved was seeing how education became intergenerational. Parents and grandparents who hadn't had the chance to finish school were now listening in to their kids' lessons, even in the most remote areas, as you can see here. Generations were now knowing how to tackle the environmental issues around them. Just imagine if we all cared about education and didn't consider it to be something that we just do when we're young. What if education became a constant learning curve, full of action and interaction? I'm sure we wouldn't just be sitting here today or at home, we would be educating those around us and taking action on climate change daily in our communities around the world. Did you know that according to the Brookings Institute, educating girls has a bigger impact on reducing climate change than using electric vehicles or some types of solar panels? Crazy to think about. I want you to get ready to be that person that creates a ripple effect that gets other people taking action too. Because if there are people taking action all over the world, we really do have hope. And I hope that you in this room or around the world can put your trust in a young person too. Because if it weren't for those who trusted me back in the day, I wouldn't be standing here today. Si no fuera por los que confiaron en mí cuando era joven, yo no estaría parada aquí hoy. Gracias.